Today's cool tool is going to make quick work of making a drawstring, and I'm going to show you an EZY-Pull bodkin, and I decided to share my tips for making a really easy drawstring that looks like it's corded or stuffed. So what I have in front of me here is a drawstring that I've already prepped on the serger. There's a few steps to cutting and sewing the drawstring that will help you make quick work of turning the tube, because it's a really narrow tube, and if you're making a drawstring for a waistline or something, it could get a little bit long, and we all know that turning long tubes can be a little bit tenuous. What I want you to notice here is I actually flared or widened one end of the drawstring. Why did I do that? I did that because it's going to make it easier to start the turning process, because the hardest part about turning a tube to the right side is to get it going and to get the bodkin or whatever you're going to use to turn it through the tube and started. So you can see here, all I did was, when I cut my strip, I just cut it the width I needed up until the last 2 inches on one end. And then I flared out with my rotary cutter and just made it a little bit wider. And I didn't do it on both ends, just one end. So you can see one end is regular, one end is flared. And you want to give yourself a little extra length here, because we're going to cut this flared part off. This is just for turning purposes. So now this is the wonderful, really inexpensive tool I think everybody should have in their toolbox. It's got these little teeth on one end, and it's got this little sliding ring that will allow you to clamp down on whatever you put between those teeth, and that's going to help us pull this drawstring through to the right side. Now the other thing that's important here, we want to make it look like it's stuffed, and I have one that's finished, so I just want to bring that out and show you. You can see here this looks like it's got stuffing in it. It's more of a round drawstring versus a flat, like a flat fold of fabric. The reason why it looks like that is because the serger allowance, or the width of your serger stitch, is going to fill it in like stuffing. I used my full wide 4-thread stitch to serge the strip into a tube. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the ring all the way to the end. I'm going to grab the seam allowance or the serged allowance like this. And then I'm going to lock it down as tight as I can. Now what I want to show you here is I'm going to try to pull this out. You can see that's locked down tight. That's not going to go anywhere. All right, so what I'm going to do is I need to get this bodkin going in the right direction before I clamp it down. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little kitty corner here. So I'm going to cut the edge off. I'm going to slide the bodkin into place like this, and then I'm going to just swing the seam allowance or the serged allowance between those gripping teeth like this, and then I'm going to slide the ring, which is inside now, up till it's tight. And you want to get it as tight as possible, and if I pull the kitty corner down, you can see that ring is right there. See how it's right there? So now what I've got going on here is I've got the bodkin going in the right direction, and I'm just going to start sliding it along. And like I said, the biggest trick is to get it started. So as I start sliding it along, the looser beginning will allow me to start tucking the fabric onto itself more easily than if it was all the same diameter. So you can see here, I'm just pulling. And what am I pulling? I'm pulling the serged edge to get it to turn onto itself. Okay, so then as I go, I can keep doing that. And you can see that makes really quick work of turning this tube. And then every now and then, I'm just going to make sure, you can see the ring, the indentation of the ring right there. I'm just going to make sure it's staying up, clenching tight on those teeth as I go. And I'm just going to keep skinning it through. And as I skin it through, I'm going to keep turning it to the right side over here. And you can see this is like no fuss or muss. I love this EZY-Pull bodkin. This is the Dritz version. Let me just show you the packaging. Okay, I did put a Amazon affiliate link to this bodkin. It's likely that you probably already have this bodkin in your toolbox, and if you do, I'm just happy to show you this tip for getting things started. Now, as I get towards the other end, I'm going to just be a little bit, you know, I don't want to say hurrying up here, but you know, you got to make sure you're turning it out at the end, but then also I want to get it, you know, I'm just going to work it along itself, but then as soon as I can poke the bodkin out, I always feel happy and safe. So I can now slide this bodkin out. Once you can release your bodkin and hold the actual tail, then it becomes super easy to finish this. Someone had asked me how to do a drawstring, so I've actually done 3 things in this cool tool. I'm sharing this little EZY-Pull bodkin by Dritz as a cool tool, a little tutorial on how to make easy work of creating a nice drawstring that looks like you've stuffed it or corded it, with flaring the end to make it easy to start. And I answered a subscriber's question. So this was a trifecta today. So if you have any questions or comments about this EZY-Pull bodkin or this drawstring technique, please post those in the comments below and I will help you. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.